Welcome into a special edition of the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. Folks, appreciate you guys tuning into the show. As always, this is a special episode because we are not talking directly about any sporting news. We are talking specifically about the status of the podcast and the show and the YouTube channel and all those things combined. First, I want you guys to know that I'm not going anywhere or anything like that. But I've had a lot of contemplation, and I know some of you guys have probably followed the journey over the last 6 to 7 months where I've debated how do I pivot into college sports? How do I pivot into additional sports? You've seen a lot of that content on the YouTube channel. Other folks may have been here for the last 2 years, where really the focus has been on the Carolina Panthers. And I've had a lot of ideas that have passed through different show names. You saw it, North State Sports Show, many ideas coming along. And I kept contemplating like what is the best path forward. So originally, I had this idea that I would take the channel that we have today and I would rebrand it. I would name it something else, and I would stay where I am today and just add in new content. I had different names, as you guys saw, but then I went through the process of actually thinking about updating social media and my handles. And for whatever reason, it just didn't sit right. And so, some of you know, I tried to spin up a college specific podcast, Palmetto and Pines. That thing lasted like a week and a half. I still did college football content, but it just wasn't like fitting into the podcast format that I wanted. I've had all these ideas coming through. Trying to figure out how to execute it is difficult. I'm a one-man show. On the one side of things, I do really well in Panthers content. Like, there's no doubt. I'm not just saying like I personally make really good content, but the content that I do performs well. We have a reputation. We have a brand. We've been doing this for 2+ years. There's a lot of good that comes with it, and so I stepped back and was like, do I really want to just tear this thing apart? Like, I don't think it's right personally to do this. You build something up by yourself and you see the growth, you see the name recognition, you look at what you've done, you sit back and say, is it worth it? And on the flip side, you say, well, if I start something new, how long is that going to take? Do I really want to do this again? And that was really a lot of hesitation. I'm monetized, you guys know it on YouTube. Doesn't pay the bills by any means, but it does pay one or two bills, if we're being honest. And so it was easy for me to create content that would get engagement and take off. So that's what I did, and I did that for college football. Brought in some South Carolina fans, brought in some UNC fans. Probably those were the two biggest out of the group. Maybe some ACC fans along the way, and it was cool. But as I sit here, I just thought, like, over the past few days, a lot of reflection on the show, and was like, well, I've been thinking a lot about this. And the way I did it, sat down and was like, man, I'm going to use Chick-fil-A, but you can use whatever restaurant you want. No, it's not my favorite restaurant, but easy reference that most people will get. People know what Chick-fil-A delivers on outside of the customer experience. It's a chicken sandwich, chicken nuggets, or chicken strips. Like, that's your core food that you're going to get from them. And so you know what you're getting. And yeah, every now and then they may introduce new things on the menu, but they stay true to their core. You always know what you're going to get. I started thinking about that from a podcast perspective. A lot of you guys likely tuned in, likely followed, likely subscribed because you wanted to hear Panthers content. Like, 100%, that's what you wanted. And where I was potentially going with this was just deviating in a way that didn't make sense. So I thought of it, well, what if Chick-fil-A decides to sell hamburgers? Like, so what? They throw a hamburger on the menu. Maybe some people buy it, maybe some people don't. Maybe they ignore it. They don't care. What if they start taking away chicken and throwing in lobster, throwing in shrimp, throwing things that just don't fit into who they are? you're going to lose a lot of customers. You're going to lose a lot of business. You're going to hurt your brand and your reputation. And that's exactly where I feel like I am and what I've done. And like, no, I didn't make the complete pivot, but just releasing the past episode where we talked about golf, like, there's nothing wrong with content at all. Like, I'm comfortable talking about all that stuff as far as like the sports side, what's happening in the sports world with the topics I'm going to talk about. I just don't know that it's relevant and fair to you guys that follow me or Panthers. So, anyways, all that said, I finally made a decision this past weekend and got the ball rolling, created the YouTube channel, and here we are. So, point blank, what you guys can see on today, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, we have created a brand new channel, brand new show. It's going to cover all things non Carolina Panthers. So, if you're used to content that we produce around college football, college basketball, NCAA tournaments, the Masters, golf, anything and everything else, recruiting, the ACC, whatever else comes up, that's going to be your go-to place. So we are spinning off another channel, spinning off another podcast. And for those that can't see, it's simply called Taking It with Kennedy, taking it back to the roots. And there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do with this channel. One, talk about anything we want from a sports standpoint, but also go more behind the scenes, talking to you about my journey, creation of content, what this looks like, and or just talking about anything we want beyond the world of sports. And so it was important for me to figure out how to do it. I'm personally not excited about spinning off a new channel, what that's going to take, how much effort I'm going to have to put into growing that one. But I think at the end of the day, is I keep what I have and what I do really well with the Panthers and then expand into another lane to do some new stuff. Like, I feel good about it. So that's exactly where we have landed. Again, Panthers content, two Growls, one Vor is not going anywhere. We are going to do a logo refresh. And then finally, at this point, since I know what we're doing, we'll get some merchandise in here for you guys because, to be honest, Tyler Childers is great, but I'm tired of wearing his hat. I need a two Growls, one Vor hat. Or if you want to sponsor the show, always a possibility. I'll wear whatever you got as long as it's suitable for the audience that I have. So we are going back to the basics. And then when it comes to social media, same thing there. So for folks that follow me, I mean, X is my primary source of social. I have Instagram. There is a TikTok account that's not used anymore. Facebook. Those are the places that you can find me. We are going to keep those as they are, but specifically on X, I've created a new handle specifically for the Keep Kicking It with Kennedy show. And that is pinned to my profile right now. So you guys can go out there, you can see it, you can follow me. I am going to make some adjustments to 2004 handle and adjust who I'm following just to get a very concise picture on the folks that cover the Panthers and what I want to do with that channel. So it's exciting, man. It is exciting. It's just a new journey. So if you are still here, the only thing that I'm asking is that you guys follow the new channel. I'm going to double down on what I do here for you guys, all Panthers, all the time. It's what we'll do. Continue to be one of the top podcasts out there for Panthers fans. Upgrade our microphone. That's really important, of course, for me, is something that we've talked about. And keep the show running and give you guys the content that you want. And then on the side, we will continue to build out non-sports content, sports content that goes beyond the Carolina Panthers. So that's it, man. For now, if you're interested in the podcast, we're only going to put it on Spotify as of right now, just because it's easy for me to spin off. I will eventually get into Apple Podcasts with the new show, Keep Taking It with Kennedy, but it's already out there. You can follow it. Please do. I'll start producing non-Panthers content episodes. Same thing with the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys if you want to go over and subscribe. or I'll put a link to it. I got a link on one of the posts I recently did. That's it, folks. That's all we got for today's episode. As always, this is Carolina Dad.